wanna get it crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Get money. Get money.
Hi guys, and we are live for the VCT Game Changers APAC series, day number 4. This Open, we started out with 70 teams in the Swiss group stage, now down to just the top 4. And by the end of today, only 2 will be left standing for tomorrow's grand final. I am your host, Jenny Julie, and with me on the panel this morning is the talented, beautiful, amazing Raph. Give us a recap of what happened yesterday.
If you're trying to butter me up for free coffee, I'm not doing that, but
I am.
It's not working. I'm telling you, it's not working. But yesterday has been, I guess, a story of, yes, Team SMG did what exactly they were advertised to do, and a bit of a surprise in the lower bracket, to be honest. I mean, Sapphire was touted to be one of the teams that had the best chemistry. To see them, I would say, waver a little bit the way they did was just really uncharacteristic, but everything else was just according to the script, according to the plan. And I know you have a lot to say about that and other things that might goad me into buying you coffee, but it's not working. It really isn't. It's not gonna work. No.
I got a lot of things to say about the matchup for later, but we're gonna keep that till like later when we check out the team lineups. But love that you mentioned about like yesterday, kind of a bit of a shocker upset with Big Scythe just with that reverse sweep, right? Eliminating Sapphire 2 and 1. And Sapphire, they were our last year's APAC representatives to Berlin just like 3 or 4 months ago as well. And I think coming into the APAC Series Open 1 this year, a lot of people thought that, they would at least have that podium finish in that top 3. But, we've got a pretty good lineup of the top 4 teams. But let's just take a look at the format that the teams have taken to get to this day number 4.
Oh man.
Of course, this year we are switching things up a bit in that we only have 3 opens for 2023. However, the overall format is going to remain pretty much the same as last year, with stage 1 being a series of open tournaments. We've got Open 1 right now, Open 2 happening kind of a bit later in June, and then Open 3 in July. Stage 2, of course, is going to be once again the last chance qualifiers for the last 2 spots for teams to qualify for Elite that will be happening later in the year with that 35,000 US dollar prize pool for the 8 qualified teams that eventually make it to Elite. So a lot of very jam-packed action on this year's schedule.
Absolutely, and you did talk about it. We did mention, especially on day 1, that this is still our very first open, so whatever growing pains that all our teams are experiencing, they will be validated, if not now, then the future. And like you said, it is a big chunk of change, and we still have a long, long way to go for the Game Changers year.
Yep, big chunk of change. You've got the 10,000 US dollar prize pool just for Open 1. But looking at the format, once again, we do have the dates all the way until July. Of course, for all the opens, it is the open stage as well as the elimination playoffs that we are playing over these 5 days. Stage 2, last chance qualifiers also will have that sweet chunk of change in the $10,000 prize pool before finally culminating in that $35,000 prize pool for Stage 2 Elite. And it just goes to show the amount of backing and the amount of support, especially that Riot is really putting into helping to grow the competitive women's gaming scene. And that's just absolutely great to see.
It's well deserved. I mean, the strides that have been made in the last few years have been astonishing, and it's been a really joy to watch. And you did mention about the prize pool. That's like nearly as much money you carry around in your purse. So, I'm sure you have a lot to give, just like all our players. I mean, with all the stages and still Elite ahead of us and all the teams that we've seen and we are about to see perform, it just makes it that much more exciting.
Yep, exactly. And these were the top 8 teams that qualified out of the Swiss bracket stage. Of course, it was Big Scythe, Capybara Gang. RIP that they got eliminated. I love that team. Global Esports Phoenix, Go Sareen, RRQ Kaguya, Sapphire, Team SMG, and finally Orang Utan. Of course, the last 2 days we've seen 2 teams each kind of say bye to the stage of the Open 1, but we are, of course, hoping that they will come back a lot stronger in June for that Open 2. Of course, we only have 4 teams left today in day number 4, and only 2 will be left by the end of today to make it to tomorrow's grand final. So this has been a pretty long journey for all the 8 teams that qualified. Of course, they did play the Swiss bracket, which wasn't broadcasted, but was another 6 best of 3 series. And also, like with the double elimination bracket that we're used to with the Game Changers here in APAC, it's a lot of games, especially if you lose on day 1, you drop down to lower bracket, and then you have to play every single day if you're trying to make it into today or into tomorrow's final as well. So it's definitely been a bit of a grueling schedule for these teams, I think, especially for Series 2 that we will see later on today between Orangutan and Big Scythe. Like, these teams have played a series every single single day of the Game Changers APAC. And it's kind of a question of, how much do these teams still have left in the tank? But this is going to be our schedule for today. I think we're pretty honored and happy to be here for day number 4 because day 4 is the most jam-packed schedule that we have for APAC Series Open 1 because we've got 3 best of 3 series for all of you guys watching at home. Of course, we're starting off with the upper bracket final. It's kind of the match of the day for me and kind of what could possibly be right. This could also possibly, don't want to, jump the gun, but could be a matchup that we will see tomorrow in the final as well. Just absolutely stacked teams between SMG and RRQ. It's going to be an absolute banger of a game. And then later on, our second series, right, between Orangutan as well as Big Scythe is going to be that revenge match, right? Because we saw over on day number 1, Orangutan, like they beat Big Scythe 2-0, and then Big Scythe dropped down to the lower bracket, have had to claw their way back through today. And then the last match of today will be the whichever both teams dropped from Series 1 and Series 2. So got a long day ahead of us, but should be some pretty good games.
Should be some pretty good games, and I'm glad that you mentioned stamina earlier. It is the most jam-packed day, and I believe this is the first time we are going to be seeing a team do 2 series in one day, so that's a bit of a doozy.
Yep, for sure. I mean, talking about just their stamina to make it here, just playing today is going to be a struggle for them. We're going to take a look at the highlights from yesterday. You want to walk us through this?
No, I absolutely do not want to walk through. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so as we mentioned, right, there is quite a few clashing stories still. I feel like a lot of the chaos is still going to happen in the lower bracket because Big Scythe has been completely unpredictable. The notes that I've had for them in the first day was that their mental fortitude was something that was a bit of a question mark, but with what they did to Sapphire, it's like they've completely written that off and have evolved once more. And again, that's the beauty of the circuit, of the format. The teams, they just get better every single day. It also does kind of expose which teams aren't moving forward and adapting to all the competition. And again, with all the frags that we're seeing right here, it's a complete testament to how dedicated everybody has been. I know some of the teams aren't here anymore, but that is just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and I just love how we're seeing Capricious in particular from Orangutan just absolutely stepping up for a team because that was such a big question for this team coming into that day number 1, right? With all the roster shuffles that Orangutan have gone through, just how well will Capricious be able to lead this team? And she's shown that she's been pretty up for that task also. So, yep, there's Yamori on the other hand for Big on the Jet also. I mean, that's going to be an absolute banger of like a matchup later on between the duelists.
True.
If we're gonna see any type of difference between the Jets later, but yeah, I can't wait for that matchup to happen. But guys, before we head on into the later series of the day, we're going to go for a very short break before we come back with the lineups for our first series between SMG and RRQ Kaguya. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a bit.
coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench, coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench, coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench, coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
Hi guys, and welcome back to today's series number 1. It's our upper bracket final for day number 4 of the VCT Game Changers APAC Series 2023 between SMG and RRQ. And boy, is today's first series going to be an absolute doozy. There is no better way to wake up on your weekend morning than by catching some banger Valorant games. And talking about that SMG versus RRQ, we're going to take a look at the rosters of both these teams. First up, it's going to be Team SMG.
So excited. You can already just tell she's so excited. It's like, oh yeah, it's Team SMG's time.
Oh my god, look, you can't spell SMG without S and G. All right, sure. I know, like, we've only got one Singaporean player with Kohybe on the roster. We've got, rocking that 3 PH on Team SMG this year. But there's your roster on your screens, guys. It's going to be Kohybe, Camille, Shirazi, Tara, and Alexi. And boy, has this team been steamrollering their way through the entire of GC APAC Open 1 so far. But before we get more in depth on that, we gotta introduce RRQ Kaguya. Come on, Raph.
Of course, RRQ Kaguya, one of the tournament favorites and arguably one of the top 3 teams we have in Game Changers 2023. I mean, they have been fairly human in their performance. They've had their highs, but they've definitely had moments where they've looked shaky. But the biggest takeaway from that is that they've always come out on top. They've been super resilient, and they've had a good mix of everything. They've shown a mastery of what tempo they really want to play. If they really want to hold it back and play super default, they can. If they really want to hinge off Aluka and Ayumi's insane potential to go for those first picks, then they absolutely will.
Yep, and I am just so super hyped for our first matchup of the day because we have so many good storylines, so many good narratives coming into this first series, right? I mean, these two teams, they started off on the opposite sides of the bracket. They haven't met each other yet in the entire of like the Swiss, as well as the playoffs just yet. So today is going to be the first time that we really get a good gauge on how these two favorite teams will fare off against each other. There's the map select on your screens. It is going to be Haven to start us off, Pearl as well as Lotus. That will be the decider if we do go the distance with all 3 maps. And I'm super hyped. I mean, Raph, what are your thoughts on this? Just super big maps for all 3 picks.
Super big maps, and I feel like the same question that we've been asking about SMG still has yet to be answered. What are they weak at? What is their Achilles heel, perhaps? Because all these maps are pretty much leaning into their favor. I look at the stats of RRQ Kaguya, they're a little shakier on Pearl. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch because they do have a decent, and I mean decent, 80% here. It's just SMG have not dropped anything, so it's super hard to gauge what type of I guess, clash we're gonna see. But if we look at the themes of the map here, I would say Haven is going to be testing how active SMG, or rather how active RRQ can be. I mean, I feel like this is where we actually saw a bit of a breakdown on the side of RRQ against Orangutan, if I'm not mistaken. They had a very, very impressive attacking side, but once they started going for that defensive side and trying to, I guess, fix all the rotations, that's when they got outmaneuvered. I mean, they do lean heavily on Aluk and Ayumi to open things up for them, but when the things get, I would say, a little dicey, there's still growing pains. And I have to say, I'm still super excited on how this is going to pan out against a team that's also as, how would I put this, well-refined as SMG.
Yeah, I agree. And I just absolutely love that, you brought up how RRQ have shown tiny little weaknesses here and there, but we haven't really seen any chinks at all in the SMG armor, right? Because if you're just looking at the stats, and the numbers don't tend to lie, right? So RRQ Kaguya coming into the playoffs, coming into today, they've dropped maps here and there. They dropped a map to Orangutan twice in Swiss and in playoffs also. They did lose to Sapphire earlier on in Swiss. 0-2 as well. Whereas SMG, they've played 8 best-of-3 series to make it to today, and they have won every single series 2-0. And I'm not even talking about like overtime long games. They have a lot of like 13-4, 13-3 maps to get here also. So like if you're looking at it, right, both teams, they had the day off yesterday because they won day 1 and day 2. So you earned that little bit of rest in a double elimination format. But I think for SMG, just with the least number of games and rounds that they've played, they've shown as little of their strats as possible, right? I mean, what do we think? Who is your favorite team coming into Series 1, Raph? I'm listening.
Don't make me do
I'm
this.
listening.
I have been trying to divert all the attention and the bias towards RRQ here because, SMG is famously a Singaporean org, and I'm just putting it out there that there are 3 Filipinos on that SMG squad, and I will stand by my picks from day one. I've always believed that SMG have been as fantastic as they have been since the Swiss stage, and they've translated that super well. And the fact that they haven't really given anything away throughout the days that they were playing is a big, big factor here, because so far, every time they feel like it's comfortable enough to go for a heat check, we see that Reyna chamber pick. It's something that I super appreciate, and I did call out the first time. I'm just saying, guys. So I feel like I'll put my eggs in the SMG basket.
I mean, you called it day 1. You're good at your job. What else can we say? It's why you're here.
You're great
on
at your job
this
too.
Desk. Oh my
Made
god!
it so easy
Thank
for
you.
me.
No, you. So I got another question for you before we pop into Agent Select. You were talking about the Reyna, the Chamber combination. You're saying that just SMG, they're on their way to today. They've sometimes shown that they go for that heat check, right? They're feeling themselves and they pick something more aggressive. What do you think we might see for this map 1 on Haven?
I feel like they'll have to respect Awaka's Sentinel play, though. She's evolved so much as a player ever since the beginning of Game Changers, and she's just proven that either she can be the spear that breaks all the formations or the shield that ties everything together. So it's still an interesting dynamic that we have yet to see when we jump into the game later.
Yeah, I agree. How are we feeling about RRQ's performance so far, right? Because we were talking about how, day 1, like this team, they lost Ineri, they lost like their kind of star player as well. Like, where would this team land? And then we saw them like drop a couple of maps here and there. What do you think for today? If I have to, really quick prediction, how do you think the series will go?
SMG 2-1.
A number. Whew, okay, I agree. I think that it's going to be a 2-1 also. But guys, we are ready for the game. We're going to hand it off to our caster pair for today. It's going to be Dax as well as Donut. Lady and gentlemen, take it away.
We got a slot ready in the finals there. We have one matchup to watch out for, and this has to be one of the biggest ones of them all in the Game Changer scene. It's Team SMG versus RRQ Kaguya. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Dax and Donut gonna be together for this one. And Donut, upper bracket finals. I'm just so excited for this one because this is really powerhouse versus powerhouse.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a foreshadowing of the grand finals. I think it came early. It's supposed to be tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But I guess both of these teams, they have a day. They had a day to prepare for this match, and Team SMG, they've already revealed their real agent composition. So at least RRQ, Kaguya, they had time to reassess their current strategy. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a mirror matchup for our agents. It's all going to be about how they use their utilities and how each of the initiators will be able to take advantage of that round. Again, Team SMG, when it comes to the mid-round calls, for sure, they are going to show up here in Haven.
Yeah, they look very sharp right now, and that's a really good point, though, and that we've seen SMG hide strats in terms of Haven, in terms of Pearl. We're going to see those two maps right now, and this is the composition that they brought against GE Phoenix to begin with. And SMG looks like a quick siege of that A-side Shirazi, though. Good start onto Iceberg, and that's the entry alert for Ayubi, though, over onto the corner, and Alaka's there to help out, too. RRQ setting up a trap perfectly placed, but towards the backside, Kohaibi already just rushing on in. It's 2 versus 2. Link here for the post plant for RRQ. A quick little regroup as SMG get the plant going here, Donut.
The control for Team RRQ, but it's going to be Nabsky and Best. Big shoes to fill for both of the teams, but they still have a lot of utility. Just a little bit of information is what Nabsky will need, and this time there is going to be that peek out and the kill for both. Shirazi takes 3 for this round, and what an amazing play from her.
SMG just looking absolutely cracked with the shots from day 1 to today even. It really just goes to show, though, for SMG, that rushdown is so potent, and especially how they understand what to do with the loss that they have in the first place. They realize, okay, if we actually keep the pressure towards the link area, we keep the pressure towards that backside, it's just SMG again and again getting the map control that they want.
Yeah, this is going to be something challenging for Team RRQ when it comes down to the defense, right? They had a good inkling that there would be a push towards A, and this time, Team SMG, they're not backing down. They're gonna go A again because it has succeeded, but will they know that there will be people hiding behind these corners?
Oh, Iceberg's just there to shorty, almost getting a takedown instead. RRQ still sticking around by the site itself. They get 2 for the troubles, and SMG, they're gonna need to regroup instead towards A long, reassess the hit here. RRQ so prepared for that one, especially every single time you have that long presence or the exit to the site from long. It seems like that's RRQ's power position, and it worked out again to at least equalize the odds here.
Yeah, now they're gonna get to see quick rotations for them, but 2 guns lost for Team SMG. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna bite. Nabsky has already taken the Spectre, so this might be the X factor for them to win this round.
Yeah, there we have it, though. SMG backing on away, playing the long angle. Bit of a lurk from Tara too, watching out for Garage. Only problem here, what can RRQ still do as they play towards that backside? Perhaps a flash from Alaka can help out in a pinch, but this is still a stable post plant here. Trying to clear out any utility setup. Star already in the way. Alaka moving over to the platform as we get defuse going. SMG just waiting for the Q itself. Shirazi so low though on the HP. Has to be careful because of the turret. Finally timing here from Tara. Kami is there too. And the execution from SMG sublime. The re-hit, the mid-round call has been one of their strongest points, and we see it yet again.
Have plenty of time.
Yeah, Team SMG, when it comes to the recovery of the round, they're so good at it. Tara, she's been so good when it comes to the quick rotations, and I think that's one of the reasons why they really did bloom in the map of Lotus. However new that map is, they would have the quick decisions, the right decisions actually, when it comes down to the wire. And this time, Team SMG, they selected this map.
Yeah.
So for sure, if they already have a lot of strats ready, I think RRQ, it's gonna look grim for them during the mid-round calls. But, of course, for this time, there's going to be a full buy for the defense.
Yeah, hasn't that been the problem for RRQ? We remember that game versus Orangutan where their defense was strong, sure, but their attacking side had those struggles. And as of now, it seems like SMG realized there's a bit of that weakness. If you look at history, though, back in the AE days, RRQ, they were so potent on this map, only losing to the likes of X10 Sapphire then. But this time around, SMG still feeling very confident with this map pool moving forward. You get the Pearl, perhaps. We'll get that double control later on from them. Lotus, they look so scary as well. And that's why the panel talking about it a while ago, this map draft looking very SMG favored right now. The flash comes on in though. Courtesy side of SMG. Iceberg has the back on the way. The attacking side, they realize that if RRQ wants to play these close positions, they need to anticipate. But Iceberg, perfect timing, gets that takedown. Shirazi with a trade, and over onto the graffiti yet again. Corner so important to make this A-side happen, but Shirazi, even through the smoke, finds Alaka, and that's the third one for Shirazi. SMG just gunning at the opposition. They have the man advantage now, and it's all left the best in the 1v2.
Spike
Bulldogs, Sheriffs, nothing can take them down. Bess is going to be holding the Vandal. It's a 1v2. Spots out the first one with the headshot. Hiding in the corner is going to be Tara. She is going to play her card. She has one more star to use, and she's just playing the time. Now she peeks out for sure. There will be a timing, but the stars haven't refreshed. Astra versus Astra.
The link.
Best though, checking all of these corners, and time is running out. She has to run, and she spots out that cape.
Tags her.
She fixes defuse. Tara's low, and Bess gets the headshot.
Well done.
Amazing play here for Bess. At least they won the round, but it is a very, very expensive one.
Huge investment there, though, Nathan. Truth be told, RRQ having some of these moments saved by Bess. Just that sense of control that she's able to slowly but surely find those 1v1 angles, seek out the opposition. And we've seen that in a few of the series already RRQ Kaguya has had. And that's the thing about RRQ right now. They've been looked mortal so far, as Raph mentioned into the panel. They've looked, I'd say, vulnerable compared to their previous iterations from last year and beyond. But you can still feel the star power. You can still feel the stability. And in those tense moments, you can see the luster that is RRQ Kaguya.
Definitely. There is going to be a time to shine here. And this probably would be the round. They need this in order to get their economy back up. And at this point, they are going to try and take control of a lobby. But it has just been lost by Team RRQ. Quick rotation towards short. And it's going to be a Yumi just waiting for Tara. A little bit of information. Shirazi confirms that the Killjoy and the Astra are there. Towards the C site, but the blades connect.
Oh, Yami is already ready for the trade, though, and that's the thing. Team SMG, they know RRQ wants to venture towards that A side as much as possible. They've seen the contest towards short, and even though Ayumi was sharp with the blades there to get that first takedown, SMG still prepared the re-hit at anyway. Slow play now towards long, cutting all the noise as much as possible, and if repetition will be the key here for RRQ, SMG, they want to exploit that fact, perhaps a pinch play. Then again, though, Aldrone right now might be the call. Ayumi goes in, and Shirazi gets the takedown onto 2. Easy pickings from SMG. They've set it up well yet again, and the lay of A side is theirs to claim.
Shirazi's been so well when it comes to being the savior of the game mid-round. That double kill there, they did not expect. One was holding the drone, but then she was ready for any type of push. This time, though, Navsky, she is stunned, and I guess this is going to be a tricky retake for them.
There you have it. The sightline's perfect for Alexi already. And SMG yet again focus fired heavily towards the link area. Every single time we see this A site, though, now you can see the presence of SMG on the site. You can see that they want to play as far deep as possible and make sure RRQ gets no vantage point whatsoever. That's been the struggle right now of the defense in terms of the retake.
Yeah, I could see the vision cones, right? When you look at the A site, everything else is covered. It's full of red. So every time that Team RRQ will opt for the retake, they will be ready. On top of those angles that they hold, it's all the utilities that they spread all throughout the site. It's all about the timing, and Kaguya as the breach has been so good with all of these stuns. And the recovery from Shirazi, I think, is one of the best highlights of that round, given that Kohaibi was holding the drone, right? Trying to check the corners. But before she had the chance to check, there was a push out for both Ayumi and Iceberg. But Shirazi, she really will be the savior for this team. And I think Team SMG with the core, we've been talking about Alexi and Kohaibi as a duo.
Yeah.
But Shirazi, as an individual player, she really shines when needed the most.
I absolutely agree with you, and I checked the stats right now of what we've had here so far for Game Changers Open 1. Shirazi has the highest ACS of everyone in the playoffs so far. Absolutely impactful every single time, and it just really works so well for Team SMG because they have that reliable backline that can secure the rounds for them. You look at players like Alexi and Kohaibi, you know that tandem wants to go in, especially when you have Kohaibi on something like the Neon or the Raze in other maps. But when you have that Rocket Shirazi, she's just ready to roll it down and against the opposition. Alexi, though, leading the charge yet again. The front line still sharp from SMG, and things are really firing on all cylinders for the attacking side so far.
Yeah, quick smoke there to try and cover and escape, but the rotations have come in. I don't really think the bestest position would be the best one, but they would prefer a retake at this point. If they take a hold of C, then it's going to be lost. Preferably, they need the smokes for this.
It's a gamble, that's for sure. They're stacking towards A yet again, realizing SMG has been hitting that again and again for the past few rounds. Now though, the clear towards C, aftershock thrown towards platform, but you mentioned it, since Best did back on away, they will decide to play the retake. This lurk being watched out for by Shirazi one more time. I do like the fact that Ayumi's checking towards one first and foremost, but Shirazi knows it already. There's the takedown. Rifle, though, gonna be vulnerable if she gets overrun. So you can see here for Team SMG, reinforcing the backline, keeping an eye out. Triple peek now at the ready. Tara and Shirazi yet again working hand in hand together. And the rest is just history here for Team SMG, writing the story and writing this round as a flawless win.
The story is just overflowing for Team SMG. There was an intention for a flank here by Team RRQ. 3 people against 1 until Tara came along. And at the end of the day, Shirazi just held down the fort.
Isn't that we expect though here for RRQ? They realize, okay, we're splitting too much into the front line. Perhaps let's actually go for the wraparound. Let's go for the flank. But it still doesn't happen the way that they like. If SMG realize there's no point pressure whatsoever, there's no sight information that they're gonna garner in terms of people, why not watch that flank? And we see it one more time. Shirazi just so freaking reliable. It's just ridiculous how SMG, I'd say, made that rebuild happen all throughout the offseason for them. They rebuilt around Kohaibi and Tara especially, and including these members right now, all-stars from the Philippine scene. They just look so damn potent and the team to beat from what we've seen so far.
Yeah. Definitely, I think the team selection for this, for the coach and the manager, they said, okay, who are the players with the highest ACS, highest headshot percentage? Yep, that's a check. But then at the same time, I think they did so well when it comes to selecting, and the time to practice together was really built this solid team. And given all of the interviews that we've had with them, they seem to be enjoying, even in Lotus, against a team like Sapphire, who represented Asia Pacific back in Berlin. It just means that if they're enjoying, they're getting the kills, they're confident with each other, and as a team, the communication is on point. Because you can see that in the mini-map, right? They already had the C site earlier on in the previous round, but Shirazi, when help was needed, Tara was there. And there was an easy rotation just in case for the person down at C long, at the bottom of C long, so that there would be an immediate response. And Alexi and both Cammy are just the ones on site. Yeah. I just really love that adaptation for this team when it comes to the rotations. And I think that is the one that is on point and perfect.
Just the chemistry right now for SMG off the charts. And you want to say the same here for RRQ Kaguya, in all honesty. You know that that core is still from that Alter Ego Celeste roster. You know that they've only made one of those roster changes. But unfortunately, it has been many a trial and tribulation for them all throughout these playoffs. Multiple 2-1 standings, almost losing out to the likes of Capybara Gang as well as Orangutan X. It's just this RRQ Kaguya squad right now. We know how good they can be. We know how they have become the standard for the game changer scene especially. But this is the problem sometimes, that after you've had your run and everyone is still looking at you, everyone still feels that you are the bar to beat, and everyone is still making those comparisons to you, and especially how they make the plays against you. And really, even though RRQ Kaguya has had a great run so far, making it to the upper bracket finals, you can feel the pressure that the target is still on their back because of their history there, Donut.
Yeah, definitely a team with form, but if there is pressure to prove themselves, right, sometimes it can get to your mental. And I think this is one of the things that the panel has mentioned, right, the mental game as well. And definitely without the star player that we expected to play here in Open 1, we know for sure that there is also pressure in Bess because she has big shoes to fill. And definitely, right, when they won twice in the whole of this playoffs, they were against the team of OGT, but we don't know just yet what their answer is against the wave of Team SMG.
Yeah, that's the problem right now. No one has really solved what they can do against Team SMG. Panel mentioned a while ago, flawless record so far, even beating the likes of the defending champions Sapphire in such commanding fashion. What gives already? What can you even do by Team SMG? But we've seen RRQ Kaguya get out of these situations before. Losing maps, as we mentioned in their previous outings, they still take the series at the very end. So there is that hope right now for RRQ Kaguya. There is still that I'd say, pedigree that you have. And come on, we always know about the stories here. You have Ayumi and Aluka, one of the strongest tandems that you can have right now to really bridge that gap. This is the perfect time for RRQ Kaguya to say that we can fill all the shoes that have been left behind and more. We are that team still to beat. And it is against a squad that is trying to do the same in SMG. So you can feel the weight right now of this matchup. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this matchup later on, even into yet tomorrow, if things don't pan out the way either team wants.
You want to fight it? Yeah. That's going to be a quick fix for them either way, right? If either of the teams lose, then it's going to be a quick adaptation for the team. And this time, Vex has a good inkling. Oh, low Kaguya still gets a shot.
He's just so refined right now. On point to begin with. There we have a dash on in also for SMG. And a quick plant with the lockdown for pressure too. RRQ. They tried to play the operator and they're watching from the window. But by this point, this just might be exits instead. Because of the lockdown now, they have to play towards the side, towards the link. And with just so much space created, SMG yet again foothold on the objective here, Donut.
Yeah, and Kaguya is going to be ready with the Rolling Thunder. She plays a little bit back because she knows her ultimate is very important. But at least here, the lockdown in place for RRQ is going to move them away. Just a little bit of a check here with a drone, but there are utilities spread all over. And an exchange of Rolling Thunder. The chaos is here in the C site, but Shirazi still remains calm with the kills. A second headshot for her, and Nabsky strikes back until Gohaibi says it's done.
And RRQ are running out of time and losing the operator along the way. They tried to go for the retake, but yet again, with that point presence from SMG, they still were able to delay a little bit and keep everyone else backing on away. That plan B with the Rolling Thunder, just so prepared to play towards long. And it seems like for RRQ, the problem is how they collapse for these retakes. They decide to converge back towards the site. They're not playing the flank that they could have actually utilized earlier on there with the Yumi. I know it's difficult to play the operator in that post-plant regard, but for RRQ right now, the angles of opportunity, they aren't being as maximized as what SMG is doing.
Yeah, definitely. But this time, they're by. They have to maximize this. They do have the shorty, an iceberg. That's a perfect position for that gun. But Ayumi, she knows that she has to fall back. With that drone, though, if it spots her out, Alexi is gonna go ham onto the side.
Oh, and there you have it. She's already looking at the cross, but Ayumi still are shooting to get the takedown past the aftershock. Anyway, a little bit of coverage. Shorty gonna be the surprise, but Shirazi is just undeniable and unbeatable by now. SMG, yet again, repetition towards that A side. It's the same kind of execute. Flank though covered. This time around, RRQ learning a bit of their lesson. And I love the angle best, as well as Navsky are trying to take Aluka though, waiting for timing, waiting for coordination from the opposite end of the map. Still the crossfire being set by SMG. Good smoke to get in the way, but Tara is there to save the day. This is now SMG's to hold, SMG's to win, and it's another one for the attacking side.
The amount of effort, Ayumi opening up that opportunity for the team to get the win, but Shirazi always takes that away from them. That's what's frustrating about playing against a player like Shirazi, because she knows, she has that anticipation where they would be given her experience when it comes to this map and against a team like RRQ. And when it comes down to always celebrating players for Team SMG, we would say, okay, Alexi, damage per round is very, very high, but the impact per round of Shirazi is just so stellar.
Just all throughout the tournament, this has been Shirazi's week, basically. And we continue on for Team SMG. If they have that star power shining right now, then they truly are at the top of the class. RRQ, though, answers this time with an arsenal. A while ago, it was just that eco state. This time, Ayumi gonna vie for that operator yet again. You can see the adjustment here from SMG. They've already tried to suss out what's going on towards that B site. They go for the Owl drone too. They've really tried to mix it up here as much as possible, and Shirazi's just not done! Aluka goes down. We now go for a hit towards that C side. Best is gonna be playing towards the cubby where Shirazi might meet her. Dash on in, SMG, execute. Navsky gonna be trying to play backside, but through the smoke even. It's so Shirazi from low who gets a takedown. Best though, nice surprise, 2-2 on their own. Kaguya pushing on forward, still presses towards long. Tara has to watch it. Tara has to keep an eye out. Spikes being planted. Ayumi though, the slow peek. That's not gonna work Tara whatsoever. One more chance here for SMG. But Best will best them all and get those takedowns. Finally, we get another round here from Kaguya.
That is such a great round for RRQ Kaguya. Right, when it comes down to Team SMG, they conditioned the defense to try and look at C, look at A, and they had the opportunity to plant down B. But this time, the instant rotation that traveled towards Garage onto the C site, they did not expect Best to be there. I guess that could be the solution to how SMG would play, right? To catch them off guard. If Team SMG is good at it, then maybe counter it the same way, the way that they do not expect. And
Yeah,
Best there, just holding down the ground in that corner. Such a perfect way to bring down SMG.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful one and done. Only problem right now is SMG might check that later on. But you mentioned it there, Donut. You can see what the plan for SMG is, right? Push towards the side. Look to go for the clear for the objective itself. And that's why we saw Shirazi actually get the crossfire from long. In the meantime, though, lockdown is the call. And it's a bait and switch. The rotation from SMG. They're scurrying away to C instead.
They're not making any noise. There's nobody here towards Garage. Nobody checking in for information. Now that's all bait. Well, they have an idea that they're already in C, and that smoke confirms it. As long as Tara places it, right? But the timing is everything. I love the placement of the stars there. The timing. They don't really place it early. And that Hunter's Fury as well. Only a tag, but no frag.
Yeah.
But at least damage is what's needed.
A bit told too to where that is stationed. Talking about the stars though, getting covered. Tower by Logs. Alexi's on top. And yet again, the crossfire set here by SMG. They're just making X's on the scoreboard right now. And on this map itself, Kohaibi, precision with marksmanship. Precision with the gun too. And Ayumi all alone. Gonna get chased after. Alexi's gonna get hit, smacked down by the operator. But beyond that, it's another round taken here by SMG. One way to maneuver the up, stay away from it. Shirazi though, a little too dangerous. Ayumi, you gotta respect the sharpness of this up shot. Thing is, SMG, they still have so much money. Do they chase to the end? Do they actually catch this operator? Don't have to go after him. They're going after Kohaibi. Kohaibi, can you do it? Yes, she does. Prevents the dash from connecting, and it's gonna be SMG shutting down the rifle and silencing RRQ again.
What was that fadeaway shot? She got her through that corner, the edge. And Kohaibi was just giggling because she was successful in taking down this op, because this weapon is going to be something that they would need to deal with, and just removing that from the equation might be just SMG winning a couple of rounds more. And at that point, right, they do have a lot of money. They did risk that, but they can't risk a couple of kills by Ayumi with that operator for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And RRQ, they don't have anything in the back right now. They go for an eco state yet again, and SMG feeling so confident after that push. Iceberg though through the smoke, red like a book, and cooked by Alexi. That's on in one more time. Really, the Eastern flank being used here by SMG, but it's Ayumi playing the savior. Two there with the blades, holding on to the side. Another one with the peak. Tara goes down. These blades so precise and so ready to just carry RRQ Kaguya on her back. Stellar shooting already, all left to Shirazi in a 1v3 scenario. Spike though on site, she has to go for it. She has to try and get the objective. The turret though well placed. This is some big intel from Nabsky if ever. And one more time, the corner contested here by Ayumi. She's just waiting now for Shirazi to peek it out. Nana Swarm to try and flush out Nabsky on the opposite end, also for the close hold if ever. But suddenly, a Nova Pulse appears. A stun is there. Shirazi yet again towards the corner. RRQ's happy to just wait for her to actually push on in. There we go with the tap onto Ayumi. Another transfer there. Shirazi just unbelievable right now. All left the Best in a 1v1 scenario. Best creeping on in, but Shirazi so prepared. Time running out though, and as soon as Best peaks, she is dead. The clutch comes from Shirazi. This is just a demon unleashed here for SMG.
Nasty from Shirazi. That was just a beautiful clutch. This is what I mentioned, right? SMG, their waves, they're unpredictable, but at the same time, in the round that was brought on by chaos here by Ayumi, everybody else was down, and Shirazi at that point anticipated where they will be. So quick to pull the trigger as well, and to fake out the defuse and then just push forward so that so that she would have a better angle than Best. That was just amazing. As you mentioned, the demons are here, playing in Haven.
Feel the plague already settling in for RRQ. Shirazi has double the amount of kills than there are rounds right now here, basically, Donut. And it's just ridiculous how many times they're able to play off her backline, basically play off the lockdown so quickly, and Shirazi just does not stop. See the gun barrel, Iceberg with a takedown. Shirazi's ready again for the trade. This has become the Shirazi show, and we are living in her world right now. 4v2, RRQ with the rotate. Sure, they have 2 ultimates to utilize, but not the numbers for the retake.
The ultimates, though, I think they would want to save it for this round. They might just go for the exits, but Nabsky in a peculiar position. Alexi spots out the barrel and she's down. And at this point, Bess, she's just waiting for the exits. They have to take away some of the guns of Team SMG. Again, I think the use of the Cosmic Divide and the lockdown will be of a better situation for them for the next one. Shirazi playing out that double from the very beginning. She seems like she's the support, but she's also the second entry. The way that she and Kamiyu does these backup kills for the team, just so quick when it comes to their reactions. No holds barred when it comes to the peaks. And Bess here. Well, she will survive. There is a big threat of Kaguya though, but that was an amazing round for Team SMG.
I'm just gonna agree with you there. There's always that second wave potential from SMG. Trade system is so potent, one of the fastest we've seen all throughout the tournament. In RRQ, they've relied on some of these, I'd say, one-and-done angles, very committed positions, especially with the agents trying to do so, that SMG, they're prepared, they know it's coming, and they're able to get the refrags anyway. It allows the offense to start snowballing from that point on. RRQ, Kaguya, they're proving that they can hit the shots, yes. But in terms of how they're setting up themselves for the defense, they need to hit even more than that. Speaking of, look at Bess, already stunned up by the fault line. Gravity well into play, Alexi is there to just capitalize on that. A constellation in the skies. These stars shining from SMG. Yumi though fights back. Tara is there to make the trade work. And despite the garage contest here from RRQ, it's SMG still in position.
Yeah, now Team SMG doesn't trendsetters here, but Alexi does get that quick trade. Again, you mentioned the trade system, so on point. And there is still the Rolling Thunder last round. Make use of all of the utility and get the punish. Team SMG, they finish this round with 10.
Switching sides.
10-2 scoreline, commanding here from Team SMG. Let's see what the panel has to say after such a breakthrough performance.
Thank you, Donut and Dax. All right, Raph, we've got 2 minutes to cook up a strat to stop the Shirazi show. What can RRQ do?
Oh man, SMG is so good at sealing away options for a team that it completely disjoints the whole plan, and that has been Shirazi. They're so good at committing all these options to memory that whenever they adjust, it never feels like they're giving up anything significant. Now, the biggest thing on RRQ's side is that their defense really hinges off how aggressive they can set up that sewer and long control. But with the way SMG has been denying that, it has completely resigned RRQ to finding band-aid solutions, and like we mentioned, Shirazi has been reveling in it. I feel like RRQ have to be a little more aggressive with that, I guess, committance of the utility just to stop Shirazi. My goodness, what a tongue twister. And with that being said, that's basically her job though. It's to soak up all that utility. She's the sentinel. She's meant to die on that hill she's trying to protect. But what happens when she's just completely immortal? Nothing that RRQ have done has really, I guess, stopped her lurk as well. And in that vein, I feel like Alaka and Ayumi are having some major troubles trying to get the whole team starting. And SMG, that has been such a dominant first half too.
Do you think that it's more of a confidence, momentum, or strat sort of thing? We saw RRQ, right? They used their one timeout very early on when it was 1-3 down, but then we saw SMG come back from the timeout. They came out so fast, so strong, also brought that to 1-5. What do you think RRQ is feeling? Is it more of like they need to play with a bit more aggressiveness, confidence that you mentioned, or is it more of like a strat thing that they can look to bring out?
I'm glad that you brought that up because I'm sure they're asking the same questions. We still have not seen any sort of adjustment from SMG denying that sewer control. Again, we've talked about how pivotal that is, and with that being out of the way, they've looked so brittle.
Whew. All right, guys, back to see if RRQ can make a comeback after the half. It's Donut and Dax.
I'm still waiting for Jenny to give us our tandem name. I'm worried what she'll cook up in between the panel here, in between the halftime donut. But we are gonna be back here, and besides, of course, what else can we ask here? What can RRQ Kaguya do to stop Team SMG?
Well, they have been stronger in attack, right? When it comes to at least the old form for the core of Nabsky, Iceberg, Aluka, and Ayumi, they've been so strong on these attacks. When it comes to the element of surprise, they're so good at that. Maybe use that against SMG. Not unless SMG did prepare for those types of push.
I think that's a concern right now. You mentioned that old history, yes, from years ago, but this season especially, the RRQ Kaguya attacking side has been, I'd say, vulnerable. Loss against Sapphire, Orangutan X do come to mind. And look at SMG, they're looking to take a page out of the RRQ playbook. Double stack towards the sewers. Iceberg, will she be ready to what she's been cooking all throughout the game? Still, we have a bit of a default actually here for RRQ Kaguya. They're waiting for any other expedition from SMG's side.
Yep, but there will be no exploring for them towards sewers. It's funny that you mentioned that because Iceberg has been holding this for, I think she held this for like 4 rounds straight, and she was able to get away with kills, and this time she doesn't want to tread that same direction just because she knows she might get punished for it.
Well, you know, sometimes you know how to dish him out and you have to know how to take him. But then again now, we move towards C, and Ayumi looking to lead the charge. Shirazi, though, still stable like a rock this time, though. Taken down by Ayumi first and foremost. And perhaps this is the hope RRQ is looking for. Remove Shirazi from the equation early. Get that spike going. And then as we get the fault line into play, looks like RRQ, they're going to be stuck here. Kohaibi with a takedown. SMG, quick retake from the defensive side. Long angle, though, being taken here by RRQ Kaguya. But 2 of them are so low already. Flash comes on in. No push from SMG as of yet. Alexi instead defusing halfway. Nabsy gonna be able to get that takedown, and Nabsy nabbing those kills. 2v1 though. The taps from the ghost can be pressed live, but SMG just defuse it anyway in front of their eyes. They steal it away. It's another round here for SMG.
Come on! Get
The
me in the line of
confidence
fire.
of Tara to just hold on to that spike defuse, and a bit of a frustration there from Aluka. And the pair as well, because they had the timing, right? They counted to 3, and then they would peek. But it was just too late for them. How does SMG get away with these types of rounds when in fact it wasn't in their favor? I think we saw that in the game of Lotus against Sapphire, right? They win down to the wire. And I love how SMG are being trendsetters now for this game, showing them that RRQ, they used to be the trendsetters, now we can also be with Alexi with that strong kill against Alga.
Sometimes all you just gotta say is they can't get away with this. And that they did. Then again though, back into this round, and RRQ Kaguya, they know how perilous the situation is. They pick up the force by scenario. 3 Spectres, a stinger in hand. Alexi though swinging on in, punished this time by Iceberg. And perhaps RRQ getting the element of surprise now that they need versus SMG. This is a bit more firepower than the defense did expect. Double stack though towards that A side, keeping an eye out of what Kamu can do, but Shirazi's caught out yet again. Nav's gonna be able to get that takedown. Namia though looking to spray it down, but RRQ have the numbers and they have the angles. Nice try by Tara, but RRQ, they needed that one to stay alive.
Definitely. If SMG won that, it would already be match point, and RRQ, this might be the start of a little bit of a comeback for them. But it's a tough task to do. That gap is too big, and they have to be consistent. And as you mentioned, when it comes to their attack, they are vulnerable. And the consistency, it has to be shown each and every round. They might have a bye for this, and with SMG just holding on to bare utilities, a Sheriff, a Frenzy, they can maximize this knowing their skill. But RRQ, they have better weaponry, they have better firepower for this round.
Yeah, completely agree. This is the perfect time for RRQ to build up a bit of a bank moving forward. Ayumi on top of the box already. Iceberg though with takedown. And it's going to be RRQ setting up well for that C site. Took a little bit of time to clear out the corner by Garage. But from that point on, this objective is theirs. The call right now for RRQ is to keep things as clean as possible. SMG, they have so many rounds to give. Look at Kaguya creeping on closer towards default. Over onto the corner. Back to the backstab. And simply put and simply done, RRQ making that textbook.
Yeah. just a clean round for Team RRQ. Well, take note, of course, Team SMG, they barely had any weapons or rifles at hand, so that's going to be something. At least they took down 2 with them. At that point, Kaguya holding down these very awkward positions, right? You wouldn't really expect for them to be just waiting there in these corners. The amount of awareness that they have for the map, the positioning that they do, and the quick push for Kaguya, it was just punished there by Best, just waiting in that corner. This time though, textbook, will it apply and will it actually be a methodic way for them to win another round? Let's see.
Yeah, turn the page, and I think the chapter right now to watch out for is for RRQ. Once they get to the post plant, the positions they loved playing a while ago on defense, the one and done angles, they might actually be more effective this time around. So there's that hope right now for RRQ, especially since they were able to bring it back through their force by give them the chance into this half yet again. Shirazi though, committed position. And we've seen what's happened to Team SMG early on because they lose her too quickly into the round. The drone is there too. Shirazi has to back on away, and this is problematic. Luckily though, there's another from Shirazi still stopped. Best will get the takedown, and this is what we're talking about. RRQ, they're punished, needs to be potent, and that's what they're doing.
It's great for them to show they already have a control, but Alexi
planted
and Tara, they're both running on towards the site. Kaguya has to be very smart about the utility, uses the shock bolt first to try and displace, try and check, but there's no damage done.
Strong. Tara's still sticking around. Alexi, though, finding that frag towards Napsky, and that allows her to dash on in, but a little too ambitious, a little too early. Kaguya instead looking to take the entry to herself. Best goes down, over on the hell. Kaguya will get 2, all alone. It's gonna be Tara versus Iceberg, and Tara will tell the tale of SMG that they will take this round. Puts them on map point.
That was
good.
Not textbook at all. When it comes down to the numbers, if you see, Favor was in RRQ. At Team SMG though, there was a page, there was a photo inside that book wherein they were just motivated to get all of these skills, and at the same time, I guess, first would be the shock bolt to try and confirm, but if there would be this cavalry of Team SMG coming at you, it's gonna be so hard to bring down. And at that point, right, when it comes to Tara leading the pack, when it comes to the retake, you would always see that they would check the corners. Everybody else has their own role, and that was just a beautiful retake for Team SMG.
Yeah, just that calm from Tara, but I have to say, Alexi went in and Kaguya said, oh, wait, you're going in? Sure, I'll come with you as much as possible. That's the beauty of the stink of Team SMG that allows them to make miracles happen. Hunter's Fury, though, to call, and Alexi now pushing towards lobby yet again, over onto the window. They know here that RRQ is absolutely stuck. Judge on one side, his presence on the other. Ayumi, she needs to hit these blades, but SMG are hitting all the shots. Instead, it's all up to Best. All alone, 1-1v3 scenario, the aftershock in the way, and Best, unfortunately, this might not be your best day if SMG's disprepared. Shirazi, though, caught on guard, and it's Best with the takedown. A chance here, perhaps the fault line's there, and no fault of their own. It is just SMG's clear win. Absolutely well done. The SMG standard reigns on.
Definitely, when it comes to Team SMG, they are defined by a team that defies the numbers, a team that defies the stats, because each and every time, right, peculiar scenarios, but they still go on down and pull RRQ away from that win. These mid-round calls from Team SMG, they've been so good in newer maps, but in Haven, which is their favorite playground, we just saw that they did play with their food.
Yeah, they're just so dominant, and to confirm that domination, we'll throw it over to our panelists to break down what happened in that map 1.
Thank you, Dax and Donut. And what a map, number 1. I mean, coming into that second half, right? RRQ, 2 rounds to 3 rounds. Not too shabby scoreline. The thing is, they just could not make up from the first half deficit. And as the casters mentioned, just what an absolute domination of a show from Team SMG. Raph, what did we think?
Ah, man, I hate to say this, but I feel like RRQ is so used to leading the dance that right now it feels like they're doing everything they can to vie control away. And they're really going against the current, and in all honesty, they're getting swept away. As I mentioned, they're trying to vie for that control, but it sometimes feels like RRQ's forgetting that there's such a malleable and flexible team. I mean, if we look at this at an individual standpoint, Bess is such an excellent on-the-fly playmaker. We've seen that time and time again. Ayumi and Alok can honestly fight their way out of literally any 2vx situation. Nabsky and Iceberg are the true anchors of the team, super reliable and not shy to make the proper play and the proper decision. So with all that being said, I feel like RRQ, they really have all the tools to succeed. But maybe, just maybe, it's down to just not being used to getting absolutely bullied by SMG. Again, they had one good strategy, and that was to wrestle Sewer away first, and then hinge off that forward deep long control. But with that being denied by SMG, everything has gone their way.
Yeah, and just looking at the stats on your screen, right? Ayumi, she tried her best right there, 17-13 on the Jet, ACS 2-8-9 also, but just not able to compare to the girls on the SMG side, especially Shirazi just absolutely popping off in that map. 1-3-8-8 combat score on the Killjoy, no less, like 23-10. There was one point in the middle of the game when Dax also mentioned like that Shirazi somehow has double amount of kills that there are rounds, and as a Sentinel player, that's just absolutely insane numbers. And it just kind of goes back to how scary this SMG team is coming into Open 1. I think most people would have thought, oh, you know, like Kohaibi, Tara, the Alexi, they're going to be the heavy hitters for the team. But what SMG have been proving the last couple of days is that anyone on this team can step up. I believe Dax called her just now the demon unleashed, and the scary thing about SMG is it's pretty much all demons on the squad at this point.
Absolutely. And when we see a Sentinel pop off like that on both sides, it is such a dangerous sign for the opposing team, because the Sentinel role is all about hard reads. And we saw so many of that alongside, of course, superstar play with Shirazi at the helm. And you did mention every single person on really both these rosters. They're super cohesive. They have the ability to go absolutely nuclear. But once they're getting sealed off, and I feel like this is more true for RRQ, then they just kind of have to remain calm about it, because RRQ is still a championship caliber team. They have every single tool in the bag to make this possible. But sometimes the battle starts within itself, right? I mean, with oneself. Wow, that's a little bit of coach talk, you know? Keep your heads up, guys. Come on now. It's not over.
I think that's honestly something that RRQ are going to have to think about going into this very short break right in between map 1 and map 2, because we have to remember that whoever loses this series between SMG and RRQ are going to have to play again tonight, because tonight is the lower bracket final, and then the grand finals will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. Neither of these teams want to lose this series, because that means more games. It means they're going to come into tomorrow tired if they do win. So this is such an important series for them. Of course, we have seen RRQ drop maps and still end up winning series. So I'm not sure. I don't think we should be all that worried about RRQ just yet. But of course, MVP, the woman of the hour, has got to be none other than Shirazi with that crazy, bonkers good Killjoy play in that map number 1. I mean, we were talking in Agent Select as well, right? We were thinking, oh, we're going to see like the Duelist, maybe like the Chamber and something, but I think it kind of goes to show, right, that KJ players, Sentinel players, they're not always the most flashy, but when it's done well, it's just an absolute treat to watch.
I know. I mean, you know, I am a Sentinel man myself. So there you go, guys. Just tooted my own horn. I'm sorry. But, okay, you know what? You got me. My bad. But in any case, right, just the ability to read the game and control the flow is something that's been super, super apparent on the side of SMG. And I feel like RRQ, they have to address this fast. They have to address this right now. Otherwise, the series could be in the way of SMG.
All right, guys. Well, SMG girls just showing that they're pretty much all demons on this squad. When we come back from our break, we're going to find out if RRQ can step up and show that they are the demon slayers. We're going to go for a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 ba Show me what you got.
Hello and welcome back to Series 1, map number 2 of the VCT Game Changers APAC series between SMG and RRQ Kaguya. After that absolute shellacking of a 3-4 that SMG delivered, I mean, Raph, we've seen RRQ drop maps and still come back and win series. So how worried should RRQ fans be right now?
I would still say it's a decent amount of worry, just a healthy amount to be concerned. Because as much as we've seen RRQ come back from these types of deficits and adjust as well as they have, especially when they get a bit of a reset during the break, Pearl is, I think we've discussed this backstage too, Pearl is the absolute heat check map of SMG. And so far, what we've known about SMG is that they are a team that is willing to kick you while you're down just to break your spirit. And that is the biggest sign from that huge round differential from just across the Swiss stage to now.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up also, right? Because we're kind of looking at ways for RRQ to make it back into this series. And coming off of that 13-4, I mean, you have to imagine, right, that SMG are feeling themselves. They're feeling super hot right now. But then you're going into a map such as Pearl. And I don't want to draw this type of comparison necessarily, but, sometimes we see, like, Paper Rex, for example, famous team in APAC, where they start feeling themselves and then they start going a bit too forward, a bit too W with that W gaming. So there's maybe that chance that we see this happen to SMG right here. And what do we think about, oh man, Ayumi and Aluka, come on, they can't both hover the jet. Come on!
Rock, paper, scissors, and I'm glad that you brought that up, right? Sometimes the overextension can be real, and SMG is already going for a super brawl heavy comp. Are we going to see the Reina Chamber? Yes, my heart is full. And you did ask me what are the win conditions for RRQ here, right? As you mentioned, SMG could potentially overextend the reach here, maybe just poke the bear a little too much. With a comp that relies so heavily on a lot of hard contact and not a lot of utility clear, we also know that RRQ is super capable of just dishing out the pain in raw gunfights. So this is going to be a lot of fireworks.
All right, guys. Well, crucial map number 2, especially for RRQ, and here to find out if RRQ will be able to start mounting their comeback in the series is, of course, once again, none other than Dax and Donut. Guys, take it away.
Watch the skies for fireworks. I'm watching out for Jenny to give us that tandem name, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back with our matchup. Dax and Donut still together for this one. And Donut, this is going to be interesting because we've been talking about the backstage a little bit, what SMG will run. And to my surprise, they go back to that double duelist chamber setup that they have run before beating Sapphire with.
Yeah, I think that interview with Tara was just really a bait. They said that this was really their final composition, and they knew that RRQ had the chance to study them against their game with Sapphire. So maybe going back to this old composition, but I guess there isn't really that much difference when it comes to Alexi being the Reina, because she can still throw in the flashes, still defend the sites together with the Anchor, right? But at the same time, the biggest change here is going to be Shirazi from the Viper to the Chamber. Probably more of that defense and more of that precision when it comes to the Headhunter is what they would prefer. Given that RRQ, they would need more of more cover, right? With Bess having those smokes. Those thrown in, you can just easily get away with that teleport from the chamber.
Look, I'm just gonna straight up say it. SMG is checking RRQ right now. And Shirazi Show, Season 2, Episode 1. We begin with SMG already fighting and already getting the takedowns. Bess completely shell-shocked, seeing that mid-control completely dissipate in front of her eyes. And this is the power of a comp like this. You have Kohybe on your signature race. You got Alexi happy to play that Reina, as you mentioned. Shirazi on that old-school chamber that she used to run before. And this is just SMG primed and ready to just go for these frags now.
They're just waiting there mid, and Bess, her head is down on the floor, and I think her jaw has dropped as well. Because Iceberg is all alone. She does have the ability, but not enough. She has no teammates, but she still gets one kill. And Tara with that quick trade there. Map Control is the name of the game for Team SMG for this specific round. That was quite a bit of a surprise when Team SMG, they all went towards mid to take control. And Shirazi, this is what I mentioned about that versatility of that movement, that reposition of the chamber. You can get away with these skills, and Shirazi, she's been getting away with these types of things as a Killjoy. What more as a chamber?
Exactly the point, right? You have no escape mechanism as the Killjoy a while ago. She still did. Now so, with an evacuation notice ready here for SMG, they are just gonna be happy to go for these Eagle Peaks, to go for these duels. This is a composition that oozes confidence right now. And Team SMG happy to play the offensive even on defense. Flash, though, is the value here for Alaka. That's one thing you're gonna miss without that KO. Yumi would take down RRQ, realizing we gotta play it systematic if we want to win these rounds.
There is going to be a quick rotation towards Art, but Kohybe is just waiting here. Can throw in the Pain Shell when needed, and that's going to be a lot of damage against Team RRQ. But there is also that Swarm Grenade that hurts on her feet. It's burning, but the burn is not there because Tara Ice Cold with those 2 kills.
Yeah, Tara rushes in, though, to get the takedowns and eventually gives up the gun to Iceberg. So RRQ, slowly but surely, looking to punish some of the tendencies here of SMG. You can feel the confidence right now here for the defense, but the overheat might be the problem in the long run. Marshall, though, tries to make matters count. Shirazi at the end with a takedown. Iceberg, though, over off the secret, but that's out and caught out by Alexi. SMG make it 2-0, but already a great eco for RRQ, all things considered.
Yeah, definitely. They took down 4 guns in total. But I guess what was the mistake there of Team SMG was the timing of that peak. When there was a flash by Alaka, they just caught Camu off guard. Alexi didn't have the timing to peek out. They were supposed to be the duo defending that part of the site. But I guess in terms of that recovery, Tara making waves in terms of that double. And then Shirazi being so ready with that kill. And that information given to Alexi just confirms everything else for that win.
It just feels like for SMG, all they want to do are these duels right now. If you feel a nanoswarm behind you, you're still gonna push it anyway. There is just so much confidence. And you can see it in the cams right though, Nat. Whenever we look at the Alexi reacts, .png basically, it's always something about smiling, always feeling so confident right now. There's so much high spirits here on the SMG camp, and they're only gonna be able to get away with compositions like this if they keep those spirits up.
Yeah, every Alexi camera is actually tweet worthy. Her actually just flexing out her muscles at the same time. We saw that reaction from her when they had a dominating win in Haven. It was a night-night type of thing. For sure that's gonna go around the internet. And even with that clutch, right, I feel like even there are mistakes, they just recover from it. They make sure to just go past it and then focus on the next round.
Yeah, that's really good mental right now, shrugging off some of those ego peaks here from Team SMG, but You still have to respect RRQ, that's for sure. That swap around when you have a Yumi moving over to the Jet, Alaka over the KO, that's the configuration they love to run on a map like Pearl, and it has been one of their most successful maps all throughout this open anyway. Kohaibi though, aggressive yet again, looking to bring fire to this furnace. Ayumi though, climbing a dash and climbing the shots left and right, cleared out here by a single duelist. Well done here by RRQ, anticipating the push courtesy of SMG. Shirazi on the other side, Icebergs realize someone might be there through the doorway, and hits that precise shot onto the Chamber too. It's all RRQ now, with Camu left on the other side, stuck by the door. Best will be able to pin her down to that round. And RRQ, they make their rifle round happen.
Yeah, definitely. They made it happen because Team SMG, what they were focused on is really just trying to get mid control. What they didn't know was there was also the lurk by Best, and each and every time, right, the investment of resources here for Team RRQ, they answer back to mid aggression of Team SMG, but at the same time, you did not notice, right, the Best was actually creeping up towards B, trying to find opportunity, and at the same time, I guess Nabsky also there towards A. They have to be able to think of these ways in order to counter that, because RRQ, they're also methodic when it comes to answering to aggression, because they are a team that does so as well.
They know how to change that pace, and look at the transit from Best. Nice angle to move over to the left, isolate the duel, not let Shirazi help out in that pinch. From that point on, the 2v1 goes in favor of Best, systematically, automatically done. Maneuvers and I'd say the flexibility of RRQ come to fruition so well there, Donna.
They are going to have the B site open. They do have sheriffs in hand for Team SMG, but RRQ, they just remain calm here in the B site, waiting for Tara and as well as Camu to push forward. But when it comes to the slow retake here of Team SMG, time is ticking. But they know they have to be careful. Because Team RRQ, they're so good when it comes to spawn control. Once they already have the site, right? You can't get off guard. So that's why they were so slow to push. At this point, with how they are positioned, I guess they are just going to be opting for those exit frags. There's not much to do here with just two sheriffs, so they maybe have to die to the spike.
Yeah, this SMG gonna give up their lives here. I think though that's the perfect word to talk about right now, moving into the next round. Control. Control for RRQ. They need to control their expectations, control how SMG peeks towards mid, and make sure that their default plays especially aren't punished immediately by SMG. We see it from players like Best. We're gonna see it perhaps later on from how Iceberg and Alaka are gonna set up the entry for Ayumi. And honestly, when I look at what RRQ needs to do right now coming into this game, is whatever their plan was for the site, they need to pull it back for somewhere else on the map. Anticipate that mid-aggress, anticipate the push from SMG.
Yeah, at this point, right, Team SMG, they are the ones to aggress first. They are very offensive in these defensive rounds, but I guess they have changed it up a little bit. They were punished the past. So Shirazi's just waiting here up top.
Shirazi prepared yet again, and a single shot do him in. Ayumi will get the takedown. The taps do come from Shirazi, but Alaka will make the trade work. Again, free peaks a bit dangerous here for the side of SMG. They still have the numbers to fight for it anyway. RRQ looking to figure out what's going on though towards the side. Backhauls being cleared out by the outro. They didn't get enough intel before the Cosmic Divide was online. Silence before the storm. SMG waiting on the opposite end here.
Yeah, there is still utility for that page shell to come in from Kohaibi, so that might stop the plant, but Iceberg successfully does so. They are opting for that retake, and Alexi with this flank, just so amazing with the timing.
Alaka knew she was coming, but Alexi is ready now to eat on up and heal on up too. Souls to the beckoning, and it will be Best fighting back at the very least. Long angle to try and hold from the ramp itself, but the Cosmic Divide will shut down that door, and Camu will be there to just lock the gate along the way. This is just another round here for SMG, keeping the lead in their favor.
Push a button, save the day.
It was Alexi's flank that did all the work, but when it came down to the site, right, everybody else moved forward. Everybody else was distracted by Alexi, and it was Camu and as well as Tara just making sure when they have their backs turned, they get all of the headshots, they get all of the kills, and Alexi here gets two before she was struck down, and Bess did not even know. She took down Alexi, but they lost the round anyway, so when it comes to these small wins with these rounds, SMG they're always celebrating these micro wins mid round, and that's their point of motivation going into these points. And Shirazi just gonna TP away back to safety. Heard all of those footsteps. Cannot afford to really have a casualty in this round because they just caught up with the lead.
Small victories right now are what have, I'd say, brought SMG to more and more success. RRQ Kaguya, though, you can see that this slow play fits better right now versus what the defense is trying to do. If you play for those defaults, look for those picks, especially courtesy of Best. You can find opportunities. Tara setting it up towards that B site. This is timing here for Best right now as she's crawling towards them. Prowler though gets a catch. Kaguya with the takedown onto Iceberg. Forces RRQ. Now she's back on the way. Timing though perfect from Best. And eventually the lurk does pay on that, but they need to transit towards that B site. The spike is just right behind already. Kaguya having a path of carnage to get 3. Nabsky though, at least mid control is still vied for here by RRQ. We're all looking at Kaguya if she can actually get away with this one. Best though checks the corner and will get the takedown. Shirazi's the only one left. Connect the connector, and it will be an elevator to hell there in the end. 3-3. RRQ, they wipe out the forces of SMG there.
When it comes to the defaults of RRQ and attack, they make sure to cover a little bit of ground, collect the orb there in A, and then at the same time, Best as this rat for the team. With the global smokes, right, you can just help out your teammates from anywhere. In the map, she caught up Tara, but the quick response here with that flank as well, eliminating Kaguya first was the done deal. And Shirazi at that point with 2 peeking out left and right. It's gonna be quite hard to counter. This time though,
It's just, I'll say the least, don't I?
yeah.
When do you see a team that confident to peek that way? And I'll say this, on the other side, RRQ doing so well to really punish that as much as possible. Prevent SMG from running in with full confidence. Perhaps that could be the mental game later on the court of SMG. Gunning down the opposition, making it 2-for-2 trade at least towards Link. Still though, RRQ have the firepower and they have the sight. Ayumi now playing protection, also thinking about the resurrection towards Alaka. But Kaguya is trying to prevent it as much as possible. Waiting towards connector yet again. Ayumi eventually able to hit that shot. Nabsky bringing the robot back to life. And with Shirazi in a 1v4 scenario, the tour de force. Well, it's a strong gun, sure, but a tough task ahead of her.
Yeah. But nobody's walking her way. That's the case. RRQ, they have actually collected a couple of credits already for them, but they still want to save. I think that was one of the reasons why they lost the map of Haven. Management of resources is something that they weren't able to do, and this time they want to be able to do it successfully. And RRQ with the Alaka back online, it's just going to be very healthy in terms of firepower plus their economy.
Yeah,
Shirazi there just dies to the spike, right?
Yeah, just poor Shirazi. But I feel like that's really the macro we're looking for here for RRQ. Build up that bank, keep everyone alive, and keep it clean as possible. Because you look at how SMG is going to be running this game, and with this composition especially, once all of them are online and hot, every single one of them will be a fragging threat. If you keep SMG bare bones in terms of the money, if you keep their economy absolutely stifled, it's the perfect chance to put some certain players away. And for example, right now, Kohaibi has been more so the victim in these kind of rounds. It's just SMG right now having to play with whatever firepower they have, and it's RRQ instead controlling that economy.
Yeah, and I think the utility of the Reyna isn't really doing so well for them, for Team SMG. Alexi does get all of those kills, but that was the Empress online. But even so, with all of the dismiss and the overheal, they really have to counter all of the utilities thrown at their way. With Iceberg, right, with all of these on-point recon bolts and Alaka with these flashes, they need to be able to counter that. Because what RRQ is usually doing, like in a macro perspective, they would just always flock together 2 and 3 in terms of groups. And if you are Kohaibi peeking out with a frenzy like that, you're going to get taken down. Maybe this is going to be a difference maker for them. When it comes to Arts, looking at where they are positioned, they want to get mid control again.
Yeah, Lexi leading that charge. Not the Furio, the call from Iceberg. Desperate to seek out anyone pushing towards mid. But this blind shot almost connecting on Kaguya at the very end. No dice though. SMG will retreat instead. And the powerhouse of RRQ's intel gathering materials. You have that KO, you have that Sova. You can really scare off SMG if ever. The lurk though coming in from Beth yet again. Tara this time trying to anticipate that. Haunt it to play. Middle still controlled here by the side of RRQ, and SMG know it. This is still really the Astra versus Astrov looking towards that B side. We've seen this link up happen from RRQ before, but Pain Shell flop, dash on in burn. Kaguya even take down onto Alaka, but she's a Yumi's advance. She's in a position to fight back. Gets to play the entry. Move on now towards the side, but Tara finds best in response. This forces RRQ to rethink their plans. Where can they go? Can they move towards that A side? Shirazi those waiting for Nabsky. Options now closed here for RRQ, and they might have to force that A push instead.
"30 seconds left.
Teleport's ready.
One enemy remaining.
She's so ready, and RRQ falling apart. What happened there, Alexi? What happened to her? But Shirazi realizes, what's up, what's going on? Let me get that kill for you. And a few smiles all around, but SMG, if they deny the potential from that mid push, courtesy of RRQ, they will deny entry to these sites here.
Enemy remaining. Where are you? Marked one.
Yeah, sometimes it just feels like, despite RRQ getting the intel and understanding that SMG is just nearby, it's still SMG willing to play it so standard, so willing to hold it down anyway. And Ayumi already burning the dash, thinking that the Prowler as well as the Star is coming their way. Flash now is the call. Entry coming in. Courtesy of RRQ. Kaguya though wading through the fragment, and they just easily make a kill box for the side of Team SMG. RRQ, they funnel up just to die, and the spike already controlled by the defense.
Oh, it's a beautiful peek out there for Kaguya. Timing was everything. Even with that fragment on her feet, she did not mind all of the damage as long as she gets 2 kills in exchange. And Bess and Nabsky, the ones who would always flank, one towards A, one towards B, they're working together to try and catch anybody else who's waiting for them by the spike. They have to retrieve
30
this, but it's
seconds
going to be a long journey around.
It's such a wraparound, and honestly, you see for SMG, they're just not afraid of whatever utility RRQ wants to throw at them. RRQ, past few rounds, they've been punishing that, but perhaps this time, the assumption didn't really pan on out. Really, the all-in antics here of the defense have thrown
10
this game
seconds
for
left.
a loop. And from this point on, it's just exits right now. RRQ looking to dent that economy. No chance to really get this round going. Kaguya though, just calling attention, forcing Beth to challenge her. And Kaguya still wins it anyway. Life out though. Oh, pay attention, Kaguya Navsky! Netting those kills at the end. RRQ's still there. RRQ still needs to be respected right now. SMG feeling very confident.
Yeah, that was just a funny thing to watch, right? If you were Nabsky and you saw your opponent doing that to your teammate, that's more of a revenge kill right there.
Even Sarah's just like, what's going on? Why are we still dying? What's happening here? Oh no, but in the end, it's still SMG who get these kills so early on, Donut. The impact is just substantial right now for the defense, and what really scares me about this Team SMG roster from what we're seeing is they just don't lose that confidence whatsoever. Whether it pans out or not, whether they get caught doing shenanigans like that or whatnot, they still feel like that they're in control of this game in terms of how they play it, in terms of how they position themselves, especially despite utility coming the way of the defense.
And with how they anticipate RRQ's push as well, because once there was a smoke there for Kaguya, she just pushed out. And the timing for the peak there from mid was just what caught RRQ looking and gazing at the direction of B. They did not really know where Kaguya was. And at the same time, right, they do have enough of a buy here. Earlier on, there wasn't enough for Tara. This time, though, they do have the full utility. Aggression here for Alexi. She gets the first kill, dismisses away.
Of course, she'll get away with it. The Angels for cover, and of course, the dismiss to keep you invulnerable. Next on the list, SMG looking for any other volunteers. RRQ desperate though to fight back. Just keep the check-in going, keep the heat levels even. So Hy-Vee playing towards the pillar yet again. Knife though doesn't get broken. That's a big suppress right now, and SMG will have to gun out of this one. RRQ though traded out relatively evenly. In the end though, it's still that pick early on that puts him at a disadvantage. C's thrown now out to the corner yet again. Knife peek though, not the right time because Shirazi's there to make it happen towards the battle side. Camu prepared in the front line too, and SMG wrap it up nicely to get that round 2.
I was looking kind of shaky for Team SMG. The aggression, the response from RRQ was a 5-woman push towards B. But at the end of the day, right, Alexi jump peeking confirms for Camu, and Aluka was just taken down. Even if Aluka was able to get that kill, Shirazi would be behind to secure the win. And that's the amount of anticipation that we mentioned, right, from Shirazi. If and when there would be trouble for the rest of the teammates, I will be there for the rescue. And Alexi here, it's gonna be take 2 of this B push. This time she is alone. Well, Tara is there, but smokes can be the only thing of a resource that would help them at this moment.
She broke the knife at the last moment, allows her now to pop the Empress. And Ayumi over onto the high ground though. Good museum control, heaven control to catch out Tara. Still a threat lurking into the corner. And SMG looking to use that later on. You should though, and here comes Hy-Vee! Comes up to the platform and smacks her down. Fall Guys in action. Alcy's still there too. And SMG making wonders happen. 4v1, Best all alone now. Picks up a rifle, picks up a gun, tries to pick up the pieces of this round. And she's able to shatter Hy-Vee. But Shirazi is there to make it work for SMG yet again. Theatrics aside, it's SMG
Last
on
round
top.
in the half.
Hy-Vee's just putting up a show here for us. Satcheling up and then still secures the kill. Ayumi, she wasn't ready for that pop out from the smoke. But of course, with the raise in play, you can be as mobile as a jet. And Shirazi, now with that operator, it's gonna be even more deadly for the defense. And RRQ, they had a good plan. We can place the smokes, Ayumi dashes in, but at the end of the day, they couldn't see anything in the sight. And SMG saw everything, anticipated where the push will be. Kills are here.
There you have it. You said it yourself, Donut. You know SMG seeing it's coming. They do find 2, but RRQ bite back at the very least. It's been a bit of a stubborn defiance here from the side of RRQ. Committed fights in the past 2 rounds that did pan out in the way of SMG. At least this time, though, I love the map control that we're getting here from Navsky. Shirazi, though, still towards mid. Camu looking to set up towards the top side itself. But the transit now from RRQ, playing it safe, move towards main. And Shirazi doesn't know that the killjoy of Navsky is already there towards Flower.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough position, but
You want to fight it?
with Team SMG still in B and Shirazi just holding down port here in A. Navsky's position might be even irrelevant, but at least she has a little bit of cover. She can give the information, but the rotations come in. It will be a 3-woman flank here for Team SMG. Is this something that they will anticipate, though? I think not, because of that cosmic divide. It's deafening. No footsteps heard, but Bess is gonna see all this.
Best was ready, but Sarah is a sharper. You mentioned it, Donut. Noise cut. You saw when the slow walk came from SMG once they got to main. And while Shirazi had the maneuver, saw Navsky right there out in the open. And it's SMG with another one. 8-4 scoreline. This is just more of the same here from SMG. The standard is set. The panel gonna break down what's been going on so far.
Switching sides.
Thanks, Dax and Donut. A better start to map 2 for Team RRQ this time around. I think 4-4 before the timeout from RRQ Kaguya's side. But then SMG getting that train rolling after they came back. Break it down for us, Raph.
I mean, talking about that train, it has no brakes at this point. But I do want to emphasize on Aluka's importance and the potential of that 0 point. I mean, before you know, we would see a lot more dominance already on the side of SMG. But with the ability to deny so much firepower, especially with the Reyna and the Chamber utility being just away, no more get out of jail for free cards, it does slow down that offense just quite a bit. So with that being said, they did hold SMG at bay for a quite amount of time. But as we mentioned before, SMG's adjustment speed is unreal. They have been super sharp on that. If they can't get the raw fight, then they lure RRQ to be in positions where it's a little awkward. It's like it's a mid-transition to a different part of the map where they can't necessarily put themselves in positions for a net positive trade.
How do we think that both teams are going to do after the switch? Do we think it's going to go better for RRQ? What sort kind of like strats do we think we're going to see?
Well, on the side of RRQ now, since they're going to be on defense, they do have the luxury of dominating a little more forward space in much more safety with the utility they have. And of course, the 0 point providing so much space. The question is, what if SMG just decide not to default and just keep continuing the hard hits? Because in the latter stages of that first half, they became much more confident. The duels just became that much crisper. And again, Ayumi and Aluka, they kind of have to get themselves going here to match up that raw fundamental strength of SMG at the moment.
Yep, fundamental strength as well as the double duelists that they are still rocking. Well, we're about ready to jump back into the second half of this map 2 to see if Team RRQ can make a comeback. Dax and Donut, back over to you.
Strength's probably the perfect keyword for that one, ladies and gentlemen. As of now, you can see SMG and RRQ just punching each other again and again in the past few rounds there, Donut. But in the end, SMG was still in advantage. And I think, for me, looking at this composition right now, attacking side is where they can even run more rampant. RRQ needs to use the utility that the panel have mentioned to control the push of SMG.
Yeah, a strong punch for RRQ, but repeated jabs here for Team SMG is the reason why they got to 8. Naomi here, aggressing in towards B-Long. Shirazi's gonna be ready, destroying that. Not really a kill just yet.
Looking for opportunity now. Default moving over to that A side instead, linking up towards Art. Over into the corner. Tara and Best still having their showdowns. But in the end, Best keeps main available here for RRQ. We've seen how effective this was a while ago on Haven. Opportunity of an off angle if ever. Well, SMG, they're gonna need to clear that out because that spike in the hands of Shirazi needs to come together with the rest of the bulk here.
Yeah, Shirazi has to win this duel for them to at least get to safety here in A. She does get the kill, and Alexi already has that space towards a site. Gohaibi here, already playing back. Will Team RRQ realize this? Not really! She gets the kill, and Alexi as well.
Such an advance here from SMG, and that's just par for the course between the tandem themselves. Ayumi now over into the back line. Don't try to play towards main. Doesn't realize Shirazi's there on the other side of the crate. Neither do. Eventually Ayumi takes it, but Kamu is prepared to just make the refrag happen. All left now to Alika in a 1v3 spot. Tries to throw at the 0 point, get a bit of suppressed value. Nice broken, and the rest of RRQ will follow suit. SMG at the ready, gunning again and again to get the round.
This is the 1-2 punch of Team SMG. Even if first kill goes to RRQ, they recover. And I love how they would push out towards Art there in A short. They were slow but steady. And when they got to the A site, space was taken away from Team RRQ. And with that quick response from Kamu as well to take down that flank, kept Ayumi not really stringing a couple of kills. And Team SMG, now with that buy, Naomi only with that Marshall. Don't really think this is going to go in the way of RRQ.
I feel it for RRQ. They have some critical junctures that they need to keep an eye out on in SMG. Critical fights they need to win. The win cons, though, more so on the attacking side now. And here we go yet again. They have the guns anyway, clearing out the blink area, forcing RRQ to play towards Connector. And look who's on the alert. It's Alexi. Finds the timing versus Iceberg. Gets popped up now and ready for more action. Ivy, of course, ready to just bloom towards Flower. And the rest of SMG will make a bouquet of roses and put them in RRQ's graves. It's 10-4 and it's SMG again.
That was a flawless round. Well, almost, I think. given that there are going to be guns here, Ghost for Team RRQ, the amount of movement within the map was just like a waterfall running through the A site. And with RRQ's defense, without even knowing, they already had the A site. It was so hard to recover at that point with all of the gun diff that happened during that round. SMG also quick on their feet when it comes to checking these corners. Kuhaibi with all of those satchel plays. It's hard for RRQ to anticipate the movement, given that Kuhaibi is really very well versed in this game.
SMG's just so all over the place right now. And RRQ, this is their best chance now to fight back. Rifle round, so important to win, and you can feel the pressure on Alaka's shoulders. Big pick off though, Tara goes down. That's no smokes now here for the side of SMG. They need that to make their side takes a little cleaner. So instead, you gotta do it the hard way here. You gotta go for the frag. Nabsky playing anchor, waiting for the timing for Alexi if ever.
Yeah, unfortunate that Tara was the first one to fall down. But they do have the flashes, they do have all of that utility to provide damage, but Nabsky too quick to put down that nano swarm. Ivy is gonna be down with that flash though, still gets a kill.
The angle there for SMG. Love the angle also for RQ as they play towards that link. In the end though, 3v3. Kuhaibi made space, and this allows SMG to actually move towards the site. Gun advantage still clear. Iceberg trying to clear out the corners. Holds Kami, who spotted on out and taken down by the Bulldog of all things. Alexi now over into the hallways and deck the halls with these two heads. Finding takedowns again and again. The Reyna running rampant. All left now the best in a clutch situation yet again. We've seen her do it before. Can she do it one more time? Heaven control though for Alexi. Shirazi over into the hallways as well. Realizes the location now of these two players. Has to isolate these duels, but time is running on out. Shirazi falls. Next on the list might be Alexi. High ground still the best ground here as we get the tap, but it's just a fake. This time around, Alexi ready to check it out, ready to get the swing, and up in the air, sure Best will get the takedown, but time is on the side of SMG.
Alexi just wanted to secure the round, jumps up, and Best though did not have time to defuse the spike. A great way for them to buy some time. Iceberg had the right idea, but of course with Alexi's position, she was just brought down. Best here. Alexi knows not to peek Bess in that pressure situation, because Bess, when it comes down to the pressure cooker situations, right? She usually blows off the steam and gets the round. So Alexi just wanted to buy more time. RRQ with a timeout though, they need this more than anything. But the timing of the timeout, not really in their favor. They would be in these quasi buys. Sheriff, probably some pistols, a frenzy for some of the members. And against this full arsenal of Team SMG, complete utility as well, it's going to be hard to counter.
Yeah, it's a reset timeout by that point. Losing the bonus like that has to hurt. And you just go back to how SMG is so well refined and how they want to play. You notice that they popped that Lear to allow Kuhaibi to actually play towards that heaven. And sure, the Rays will be dead, but we've seen from old SMG rosters that they wouldn't play off that space made by Kuhaibi. They're backing on away, looking to go for the reassess. SMG say, screw it, we're going in. And just with those hard commits that look very coordinated, that's what really allows SMG to be this great, to be this powerful. RRQ, you can feel it already. The death sentence might be there. An eco win right now would be a heaven sent if ever. But SMG ready to bring them damnation. 2 down. Iceberg over, trying to retreat, but there is just no escaping the relentless pursuit of SMG.
As you mentioned, right, the pace is there for Team SMG and the rest will follow. Only one casualty for this round, but still, it seems like how flawless that round was in terms of the push. A cleanup crew for Team SMG, and now they're at match point. The pace is being set here by Team SMG, especially on attack. All of the utilities, even though they are vulnerable, they still push forward, they still go on their attack. And look how clean that round was. And if RRQ, they don't find a solution here and now, they're gonna go down in the lower brackets, and Team SMG, they'll be sitting pretty on top.
Yeah, whoever wins this, they play tomorrow. Whoever loses, they play later on. But the smiles are there for SMG. You can feel that this is their series to win. And all they need to do now is beat whatever RRQ can bring back at them. Operator in hand for Yumi. There is firepower. There is still that pedigree potential here for RRQ, but they need to prove it right here, right now. Boom, bought the distraction, and boom goes the dynamite. Check Laka from Kahaibi. Dunks down to Navsky. Next on the list, Alaka with a flash, gets some targets, but Iceberg is gonna only get one for her troubles instead. Nightfall to play. SMG picking up base yet again, and Alexi even finds a Yumi. There you have it. It's SMG in control. Best, she's been clutched, but can she beat 4? Finds Alexi first and foremost, though. That's the Empress gone. A chance perhaps here for RRQ. Kahaibi, though, will make it no chance whatsoever. The streak continues, and it's nap time set here by SMG. They have not dropped the map all open, and they are the first ones in the finals.
Yeah, this team of SMG, they are their own ultimates for that specific round. Kohaibi, a showstopper. And when it comes to Alexi, just popping off heads, she is the empress of that game, and they advance to the grand finals.
Just no more words need to be said right now about SMG. I think they've really shown that they are a tier above everyone else. They have beaten all their top contenders so far in the upper bracket, beaten Sapphire, beaten RRQ Kaguya, and the only question now is who can actually face off against them in the grand finals. From the form they're showing, this is their tournament to win, but of course they need to prove that tomorrow. Proof though in the pudding. Panel will break down what happened in that series.
Congratulations to Team SMG for being the first team into the grand finals of the Game Changers APAC Series Open 1. Clean 2-0, 13-4 on Haven, and then 13-4 again on Pearl. I mean, we were expecting SMG to beat RRQ maybe 2-1 in a closer sort of way, but what a way that they closed this one out, Raph.
I mean, SMG, they've proven time and time again that they are pretty much, and as our casters mentioned, as Dax and Donut mentioned, they are sitting pretty at the top, and they've grown to be incredibly comfortable. Are they truly usurpers to the throne, or do they belong? Are they the righteous owners? And as you mentioned with the round differential, the just dominance of the team and the players in general, it looks to be so, but I think we will be jumping right into the scoreboard, Reirichu, as we will break down those numbers for our lovely audience.
Yep, our one job, breaking down those numbers, the stats. That's what, our panel is here for today, and there are the numbers on your screens. Guys, this time around, Alexi with the MVP for Team SMG, well deserved on that arena. But I think the interesting thing to note for this map number 2 is a bit of a more well-rounded. I think everyone from SMG is just pitching in more of an equal footing than, map 1, which was kind of the Shirazi show on that Killjoy. And just props to Ayumi also, right? Just time and again, she's shown up as the MVP for the RRQ squad. I mean, Iceberg as well during those pistol rounds, landing those crispy shots, but just not quite enough. What do we think?
Not quite enough, too, and one of the reasons is a bit of an unsung hero in the form of SMG's Camille. Again, it's just so many calls. Camille with a trade, Camille holding it down, Camille with a prowler. Everything was so well timed. And in comps like this, there's an extra responsibility on her end to be so precise with how she pressures with her utility. And so far, we haven't seen any point of failure yet. And she has been a linchpin for all those holds, and she has been a linchpin for all the defenses as well. I believe round 11 was one of those highlight moments for her, as that single prowler gave enough space for Kohaibi to jump and kill that lurking Ayumi up on top of, I believe that was B Heaven. And I think we might just jump into that very soon. But like you mentioned, SMG, it was a well-balanced effort from everybody. Everybody had their moments, and this has been what SMG's been wanting to show all tournament.
Yeah, I mean, SMG, I'm just a little tiny bit bummed, that we didn't get to see the map 3 decider on Lotus. I mean, surely, tomorrow, grand finals is going to be that best of 5. Probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to see Lotus tomorrow. But I mean, just an absolute show, absolute masterclass being put on by SMG. Kind of gave RRQ a chance in the earlier part of this map, right? When it was 4-4. floor was even Stevens, but then SMG just coming back and just absolutely blowing RRQ out of the water, making the floor to a 13-4. I mean, that's crazy. That's just almost impossible. It's impossible in my ranked games anyway. It's not for these girls, but you know, they're built different.
It's impossible because you're usually the one giving the 13-4, I'm assuming. I guess that's what you're alluding to. And Alexi, Reyna. Yes. Absolutely Reyna. Yes. I mean, what type of analysis is that, right? But again, when you play Reyna, you are looking to size up everybody. And you are looking to say, hey, I'm that person. I'm going to absolutely demolish everybody. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. And other than that, Alexi has done such a great job of keeping a forward position while avoiding that KO knife. And that's been something that we talked about earlier during the half. And we all know that the potential of that halting any push or any trade potential on the side of Reyna and, of course, Urazi's chamber is something that, once again, we really emphasized on.
Yeah, and that, Reyna, I mean, that wasn't just a resounding yes. That was a 44.1% headshot percentage as well. And on Reyna, I feel like when you play Reyna, especially if you're getting those like snowballs, those multi-frags, and then you're getting into Empress faster, I feel like that actually tends to bring down your headshot percentage because when you go into Empress, right, you get that increased fire rate, and then a lot of people will end up going for the body shots. Because, I mean, you headshot once, and, well, different Reynas, but just the fact that she has that 44.1 headshot percentage and on the MVP Reyna, it's just some pretty crazy numbers. But enough about SMG for now. They've already locked their tickets into tomorrow's grand final. We've got a couple of questions for RRQ because they're going to have to play in that lower bracket final later on today. Will they be able to regroup or not? Before we find that out, we've still got another Series 2 between Orang Utan and Big Scythe. So don't go anywhere. We're going to go for a short break and we'll be back very shortly.
We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Get money.
Let's get the
Get money.
let's get the
Get money. Get money.
get the drop. Let's get the drop.
Get money. Get money.
Let's get the
Get money.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open
No,
1.
I'm
We
muted,
just
bro. Dude, I'm muted.
saw
It's
as
okay.
close
They
to
wouldn't
a
know. They wouldn't
stop
know. We're
from
about to be
Team
live, dude.
SMG.
Chill out.
What are you doing?
Guys?
Hey, it's my shift. Yo,
They wouldn't know. What's fine, dude. I just wanted to cast the game. I love Valorant. I want to make the peeps proud.
I'm sorry, guys. What was that? I mean, that was me. Yes, that was not terror. That was.
We just gonna pretend that didn't happen, or
Well, what do you mean? Nothing happened.
alrighty. Looks like a bit of a neither can live while the other survives type of situation. Kind of recognize your familiar background as well. Thank you, producers. Finally changing that tag down below. Welcome back to the desk, Raf. And guys, we just saw as close to a stomp from Team SMG over RRQ Kaguya to make it their number 9th 2-0 of this entire tournament so far. We're about ready to look at our second series for today. It's going to be Orang Utan going up against Big Scythe in what we can pretty much call a revenge matchup, right? Because day number 1, we saw Orang Utan 2-0 over Big Scythe. They were the ones to drop Big Scythe down into the lower bracket in the first place. So a lot of history coming into today.
You know, I'm really appreciative of the fact that we get so many revenge matches just in the last few days alone, right? But I feel like this is more akin to Big Scythe's new version, because the version of Big Scythe we saw versus Sapphire was just surprising to everybody, and it's just, I wonder how Orangutan's gonna deal with it, basically.
I agree. We are going to take a look at the rosters from both these teams, starting out with Orang Utan. And there on your screens, guys, we've got Casper, Japips, Capricious, Zinni, and Chloe TTW. And holy cow, has Capricious been stepping up for this team? That was pretty much the main question that we had coming into day number 1, where we always talk about Orangutan. They are the team that has gone through so many roster changes in the history of Game Changers APAC in our region. This time around, they've lost their IGL sway, as well as a couple of members here and there, and they've shown that they are worthy of the top 4 spot in Open 1.
Worthy is a word that I would love to hinge off, because they have really gone the distance, and despite every single thing that's been ahead of them, and right now it's gonna be this version of Big Scythe, which has grown absolutely so well in just a matter of a few days, right? The things that we talked about, them kind of losing their nerve, especially in the second half of series, has somewhat disappeared. Instead, they've gotten a lot stronger. When the pressure is on, they realize, hey guys, we made it this far. We can still keep on pushing, we can still keep going, and all of these players who have their individual strengths. Again, March is one of them, where we talk about she's not necessarily there for a lot of the volume fragging, but she's always there with the smokes, the proper utility, and when the going gets tough, March is always in the clutch, and she's always posing a threat to whoever they play against.
Whew, yeah, for sure. And I think that Big Scythe, especially coming back after their comeback victory over Sapphire yesterday, I mean, it's not something I think before day 1, a lot of us here on the desk, all the talents were going to predict. I mean, even just looking at Mapum from yesterday, we were like, oh, for sure, Sapphire's got this in the bag. They're going to make top 4. And then Big Scythe, your question, right, was, you know, how much can they grow through this tournament, and just how strong was their mentality going to be? I want to say just coming back from yesterday's second series already proves that they are here to play, and already shows just how strong their mentality is. And, you know, thinking of like the matchup, the revenge match, I feel that for some teams, they get a bit more nervous when they're like, oh, we've lost to this team 0-2 before. But for Big Scythe, I feel as if that's only going to work in their favor.
I feel like another thing that we asked of them early on was, have they really faced any of the more challenging teams. And this is not a knock on literally everybody they face and literally everybody they 6-0 on the way to the playoffs, right? Because I feel like them beating Sapphire in the way they did is going to give them such a great spark of confidence that they're going to come in super hot today. And we have Icebox, Ascent, and Haven right on the board here. And we've always talked about how Icebox is such a free-flowing map. It really will highlight individual prowess, especially with more explosive aiming and whatnot. But with everything said about Big Scythe, they might not come into this match as big of a mystery. In fact, they might just make Orangutan that much more wary.
Yeah, I mean, Icebox and Ascent, as you mentioned, a bit more fluid on Icebox. Ascent also just is one of those maps that where if you haven't prepped enough, it really shows in the rounds that end up happening. How do we think that this series is going to go after these map picks? Are we favoring either Big Scythe or Utan in any kind of way?
I want to say that this is going to go 2-1, but so far my accuracy on just the map number today has not been very good. In any case, we are probably going to see some sort of snowball. I mean, who knows what Big Scythe is going to do. They are a bit of a dark horse, and 6-0 again in the Swiss stage.
Phew, yeah, I mean, you've been pretty accurate on which team is going to win, not gonna lie. So it's just like, series score, which is like, whatever, I'll give it to you. You're still right. You're still like, this team's gonna make it.
And you're not wrong yourself, we've always brought, you've always brought
you.
great points that, keep me thinking. And wow, she's doing the whole thing now. It's like, you know what, Jenny? Never mind. Never mind.
I mean, come on, that is the point of competitions such as Game Changers, right? Which is you want to empower and grow the competitive women's gaming scene, not just for the competitive gamers, but for talent as well. I think yesterday, we saw a early introduction to the guest analyst Trix coming back as well onto the desk yesterday. It was just what we like to see. I mean, I loved her when she was on for some of the VCT segments for last year as well. Just always has a lot of insight and a lot of just thoughts and strats going on that she's more than happy to share with all of us. Just, the spirit of Game Changers, right?
She is an absolute joy, just to be around in general. I mean, she's so good, and it never seems like it's bleeding into any form of ego. And she's a very well-storied player, always making the right decisions, unlike my hair trying to fight me right now. Don't do it. I always win. I'm kidding. But again, going back to Trix, she has a lot of wisdom to share, as you mentioned, and she's so experienced. It never feels like she's belittling anyone. She always highlights the strengths of all the teams, all the players, and like I said, she is a godsend to everybody.
Yeah, and it's just talking about the players, right? It's just Game Changers. There are so many other players worthy of being highlighted as well. Yesterday, we saw that video of Ginny also about just her history, making it through from the other FPS games to today also. But I want to talk a bit about the players that we would like to highlight for this series, who we think is going to step up and who we think the performance for today is going to hinge on for their team. For example, Capricious maybe for Orangutan. What are we thinking? Who do we want to see?
I mean, I feel like Oreophilia also has some sort of, highlight on her right now, as there were quite a big, expectation on her shoulders, as well as Capricious. But I feel like before we can nerd out on it a little bit, I think we're going on a bit of a short break just to give everybody a chance to catch their breath.
the money in the bank. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Bang to the break, bang to the break, bang to the break, bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Bank, 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 bank. Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the hit you with the bank. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Bang to the break, bang to the break, bang to the break, bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. We wanna get it crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round.